Today's Tuesday, June 21st, 2022. Time is 3:01 p.m. This is a special meeting agenda to go over a North Idaho Fair Board quarterly update. Officially calling the meeting to order, attending Commissioners Duncan, Brooks, and Filios. Do we have any changes to the agenda? Hearing none, I'll turn it over to our director, Alexia Jordan. Also joining us by phone is the chairman of our Kootenai Fair Board, Jerry Johnson. First item of business, fiscal year 23, Fairgrounds budget review. Go right ahead, Alexia.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. We're here again today. We were here Friday last week to discuss the Fairgrounds budget. So I think we're just bringing that same topic back to you. The request was $150,000 for the FY23 budget. And just remind us what that was regarding, because some people may not go back to the Friday meeting. Yes. So this is a request for funding to help with rebuilding or repairing the roof on the Jacqueline building, which is our largest and most rented facility. Okay.
Okay. Any discussion? Any thoughts?
It kind of ties in for me to the next item, which is the fire and rescue lease funds.
Okay. So why don't you want to move on to that? And then this way we can take them both up coincidentally. So the second item is the allocation of the Kootenai County Fire and Rescue Lease Funds, $367,800.
And it's actually $364,000. That is a typo.
Okay, that is a typo.
$364,000. Yeah.
So $364,800. Discussion.
So this is the KCFR Station 4 that we entered into the lease agreement last year. They have broken ground, so they have paid the county in full. And the Fairgrounds has requested this money go to them instead of, general county funds, which is fine. I would say I would be comfortable with allocating half to the fair now and then half next year, just to make sure that the station does get indeed built, because there's a clause in the lease that talks about they can notify us a year in advance if they do not want to continue the lease, and then we have to refund the prorated amount. So I figure after the building's built, we're probably going to be very 100% safe as opposed to 95% safe.
When did they break ground?
They already broke ground.
They already broke ground. Mm-hmm. How long is the construction? Was it a year?
Approximately a year, yes.
Okay.
And the clause in the lease is just a standard non-appropriation clause that's required for taxing entities. It wasn't specifically, added by the fire district. They're building a multi-million-dollar building. If they walk away from the lease, that building reverts to the ownership of the fair or through the county. So I'm pretty confident that they will be moving in.
Sure.
How do you guys feel? Can you live with that? With Leslie's proposal?
Before we
Bill,
go on.
You want to jump in?
Yeah, if we've been paid half this year and half next year, I have no problem with that. But to be paid full and then give half, I have a problem with that.
Go ahead.
Once again, just want to, it is that amount was determined based upon lost revenue to the fair over the course of the 50 years, which was a 5-day fair. We would like to ask that all of it come to us, and should something happen, we would be prepared to release that back.
Okay, so...
Hey, Chris, this is Jerry Johnson.
Yeah, go ahead, Jerry.
Yeah, I guess I would request that the full amount come to the Fair Board at this point, because as commissioners, all three of you have been involved in this process the whole time. And come next year, that won't be the case. And I'm sure Kootenai Fire is not going to walk away from this building. So I'd request that you guys give us the money at this point.
Okay, so what do you think of this? If we gave you the full sum, but you held 50%, doesn't matter, well, you could do it or we could do it, 50% in reserve?
This will be held in our capital fund, so it will be completely in reserve until we're ready to embark on a master facilities plan. But we could certainly put, a stipulation that at least 50% is
Maybe
held
with an
through.
MOU or something
I
of
was gonna
that
say,
nature.
memo of understanding saying that
The other thing is that for us, $300,000 is a lot of money, and so to gather interest on that is helpful to us.
Okay with that?
I'd like to do half and half, but I mean, there's three of us, so 2 out of 3.
I want to give it all to them with the stipulation that you give half of it back if, something happens.
So are we saying the same thing? Let them hold 1/2 in reserve
Yeah, let them hold it all
pending completion of the fire station?
and hang on to it till it's completed.
So the MOU, probably I'd like it to also state that you will be responsible for the proration should they ever, pull back the lease.
Sure, that would be fair.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So then, are you guys in a position, I know this is not favorable, but if you get all of the funds of 364, can you take the 150 repair from Jacqueline, from the roof out of that?
So the intention of the firehouse lease was to build our facility fund, which is for new capital facility growth in accordance with our master plan. The roof repair is maintenance that's been deferred for many years, and it's kind of the tip of the iceberg of the deferred maintenance on the fairgrounds. So, we view those as very separate from a budgetary standpoint on our side. So I would think, respectfully, I would ask that we would be granted the $150,000. It likely will not even cover the full roof repair, so it will just help us to kind of limit.
What's the life on that $150,000 repair?
It sort of depends. This is
The
Lexia can speak better to that.
The last quote I received was $160,000 with a 20-year.
How much?
20-year on it.
Okay, and how much of your revenue is generated in the Jacqueline building when it can be used year-round?
The fair is obviously the major revenue driver. Interim event rentals, that would be the most significant building when it comes to revenue for those outside fair events.
And it's booked through 2023 at this point.
But there's some pretty huge gatherings that also come in off-season
Yeah.
that right now cannot use it because of the condition of the roof.
They can use it, but not without issues. We
Buckets
had
here
a
and
quilt
buckets.
show in there just last week, or a week ago, and it was raining in there during Rocky Mountain Elks. We had buckets collecting water. This is not acceptable for our county, and it shouldn't be acceptable for you all either.
I think it's just, the Jacqueline building, to my way of thinking, is either you fix it now or you knock it down, get rid of it.
Well, and that building was donated to the county.
Yep.
And continually cared for by those same folks.
We've-
It's a heartfelt piece with that building.
I know, but
We've made
it's,
don't
other
wanna knock it
significant
down.
investments.
it's in pretty bad shape.
It needs some love.
But it has bathrooms that we added, we've put a lot of money into it to make it a good multi-use facility, but we just can't
So
have
that's
buckets
what you-
during a
That's
banquet.
what's your intent for the $150,000 in addition to the stuff from the fire station.
Well, the money for the fire station you're intending to use for your master plan, the 150,000
Completely
is strictly
separate.
for the roof.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you this, what is your plan, or is there a plan, to make the county self-sufficient?
The fair, you mean?
Should I-
Hey, I'd like to hear that one.
Yeah, we tax our way to self-sufficient.
Well,
County.
honestly, we're nearly there. I think that we actually could be there. If we can get the Jacqueline building under control, and then we can start marching down the road of this capital campaign with the master plan we're talking about, that's an agenda item too. I feel pretty strongly that hopefully we don't have to come forth too much longer and ask you for funding.
And it hasn't been, it's been 1 year since we've had a 10-day fair, and obviously that helped us. The only hard part for committing to something like, self-sufficiency is that if we have a 10-day run of rainy weather, our revenue for the year is basically wiped out and the expenses don't go with it. So things like the RV park, that's opening another loop, and that will help us certainly towards self-sufficiency, being able to rent our buildings off-season, like the Jacqueline building. Those kind of things we know are income that we can count on, and usually the fair will make, you know, a certain amount of money, but people don't want to come out in the rain or the smoke or whatever may happen.
Okay. Leslie? Anything?
Well, we don't have to make a decision on the 150,000 today. Number one, it's not in our budget. Number two, we actually have our OpEx meeting at 3:30. Yep. And so, but it's not in the budget, so that's something we'll have to address.
Okay, so then, can we take action on item 2
Yeah.
with a motion? Okay.
Mhm.
Do you want to make the motion, or would you rather I do it?
You can do it.
Okay. So I will make a motion, therefore, that with regard to the allocation of Kootenai County Fire and Rescue lease funds of $364,800, that the county make the funds available to the fairgrounds, with one half of the funds to be kept in reserve, and accompanied by a memorandum of understanding that once the KCFR plan is completed, that is to say the building is constructed, that those funds be in fact released to the fairground for their use.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Philios.
Motion carried.
So once the MOU is brought before us, gone through legal and signed, and then I think we can probably make that transfer then. So,
Thank you very much.
You okay? Okay, item 3, fair update.
Fair update, this is the fun part. This is what we're meeting soon, I'll be quick about it. So this is our centennial celebration. On your desks, I had put up there our commemorative coin, which is very exciting. This is the souvenir coin. Along with that, there's other options. We have solid silver and gold, 24-karat gold plated as well. We have launched some really fun new programs. Earlier today, I sent you guys the video for the Golden Ticket program. We're excited about that. Monday, we will announce our third and final concert, which will wrap up the entire lineup of the fair. Very excited. We've got a really good mix of old-fashioned fun, some traditional favorites that had been here for years, and then some new things. So I think it's a really well-rounded program for the year. We're going to kick off with Decade Days for Music on the Midway, and we've got a big 16-piece brass band coming in to kick off the show. You soon will be receiving your invitations for the grand opening ceremony. That will be on the 19th at 4 p.m. Along with that, you'll also receive an invitation to be our celebrity guest judges for the Commissioner's Apple Pie Contest. Always fun to have you guys there. That will be the 25th at 11 a.m. That's a Thursday. And then I've also brought a lot of marketing assets for you guys as well. We've got our posters ready. I've got bookmarks. We've got postcards highlighting our exhibits programs, and some really fun yard signs. Guys, show and tell time. All with different photos from the last 100 years of the fair.
Cool.
So we are having a lot of fun with it. We think this is going to be a really great year.
Okay.
Who do you have scheduled for judges for the apple pie?
Hopefully all three of you.
it's the Commissioner's Apple Pie Contest.
I was
Can you
thinking
just-
one of us should bow out and make way for Barry.
Well, Barry did it last year.
I have done it before as well. And if any of you need to bow out, I would bow out.
And they're freshly baked that morning,
the
so
grenade.
it's always great.
Yeah.
Yeah, whomever you like.
Okay, we can work that out. All right, then, you want to move on to facility master plan update?
Yeah, we're thrilled about the master plan. It is coming near an end, which is exciting. It's been long awaited. you guys played a major role in helping that come together for us. That will be presented to the Fair Board on August 22nd during the fair by the Master Planning Company. I will send you all an invitation should you like to join us for that. But yeah, so once we have that in our hand, we can start creating a campaign and figuring out what things look like and start moving forward.
What was the associated cost? Was it 40 grand for the master plan?
The total was a little over 80, and you guys
Oh.
paid 40 of that.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right, and it's due to, so they're going to present it on the 22nd of August.
At 5 PM?
I don't have a time yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll get that to you.
RV Park Progress Report.
RV Park is moving forward. It's scheduled to complete in July. That'll give us that third loop. We're thrilled about that. Again, like Elise said, that gives us one more loop of revenue. So it's going.
How
And
many spaces when it's done?
so we had 28. That's going to add another 12.
So 40 total. Okay.
And it's fully booked all through the summer. We haven't put the third loop on yet. We're just kind of waiting, but it books up very quick once we open it up. So the weekend days at least. I think
Do
we
you
still have some
charge
days.
daily, or can people do longer term?
There's a daily rate. It's $49 a night with full hookups, and they can have a 14-day maximum stay, which is something that you all put into play
Oh,
when we
okay.
originally opened.
Got it. Do you want to go to item 6, agricultural extension update?
Yeah, yes. So in May, we did our farm to table field trip program. We had nearly 1,600 students, fifth graders throughout Kootenai County. So all the school districts in Kootenai County participated. There was a couple schools who couldn't make it. But it's a lot of kids to feed, and it was 3 days solid. 2 of you guys were able to make it. It was a lot of fun. And it's just continued to grow and flourish. So we're actually adding a day in the fall alongside of our Meet a Farmer, which is more of the adult farm-to-table program, to get those schools that weren't able to participate in May.
Okay. Anything else? Is that a record, the 1,600 kids?
It is, yeah.
And a long wait list, so.
And long, yeah, it was
Wow.
great.
Okay. Leslie, any questions? Bill?
Oh, I think I'm good.
No?
Is Jerry still doing the beer tent?
Heck yeah.
It's not a tent.
Huh?
It's not a tent. But
Oh, well.
a
yes,
lot
that's
of
another
beer.
good
Beer
revenue
garden.
source.
You're all over.
Okay, then, so we'll move on to public comment. None. I've got 3:19. Meeting adjourned.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.